and welcome to the channel. I hope you're doing fine. So, if you're new to the channel, my name is Mike, also known as Psychoghost. I'm close to 6,000 hours in Hunt Showdown, so I would say this is my main game and I know one or two things about it. One question that I get a lot is, what is Hunt Showdown? So the goal of today's video is to explain to you what Hunt Showdown actually is. To do that, we will have a look at the following topics today. Keep in mind, this is for newer players, so I will not go into too much detail or have any balance discussions in this video. The video got created during 1.7, so if there's something new in the future, check out the pinned comment for any updates. Alright, so first of all, what is Hunt Showdown? I will give you a short explanation about the game and the game modes. Then afterwards, is Hunt Showdown just another Battle Royale game? That's a question that I hear very often too. Then, what makes Hunt Showdown so good? And some facts at the end, how are the numbers for Hunt Showdown? Because Hunt Showdown is kind of a niche game. It's not super big like Fortnite, so you're probably interested in that one as well. Alright, let's get this started. First, what is Hunt Showdown? That includes some lore, the game modes and the progression system. Hunt Showdown is a PvEvP first-person shooter. Developed by Crytek, they did for example Crysis. Hunt Showdown takes place in 1895 in Louisiana. Savage, nightmarish monsters roam the Louisiana swamps and you're part of a group of rugged bounty hunters bound to rid the world of their ghastly presence. Banish these creatures from our world and you will be paid generously and given the chance to buy more gruesome and powerful weapons. Fail and death will strip you of both character and gear. Regarding game modes, there are two: Bounty Hunt and Quickplay. Let's have a look at how Bounty Hunt works, the main mode of the game. Up to 12 players spawn into one out of currently 3 maps, the Stillwater Bayou, Lawson Delta or the Sal. With Darkside you can locate clues, which can be seen right here in blue. Interacting with them will give you intel regarding the boss location, the primary PvE target. Right now there are 4 bosses: the Butcher, the Spider, the Assassin and Scrapbeak. Each time a clue is activated, a part of the map grays out. The moment you find 3 clues for the boss, or if you find the clue right at the boss location, the boss lair will be revealed and marked on the map. Hunt the boss and kill him. Afterwards you can banish him. This will reveal 2 tokens which your team can pick up. Once you do that, you get a new ability, Darkside Boost. This lets you see roughly the location of enemy players if they are close enough. The range for this is around 120 meters. This ability is limited to 5 seconds. Looting an enemy player replenishes 1 second. Now comes probably the toughest part, because finding and killing the boss is the rather easy part. You must reach 1 out of 3 extractions. And since everybody has the same goal, you have to fend off enemy players and either escape, kill, or sometimes even use some diplomacy with the open voice chat. Should you extract, you get experience and money depending on your achievements. Use the gained experience to buy new perks for your hunter and the money to replenish or upgrade the gear of your character. Should you fail, your hunter is dead and you have to recruit a new one and buy new gear. The other game mode is Quickplay. Quickplay is comparable to King of the Hill. Kinda. You spawn in with randomized weapons. You can select between melee, short range and mid range. The rest of the equipment can be found during the match on these blue boxes. In this game mode you close rifts, but don't worry, that is rather simple. It uses the same mechanic as collecting clues in Bounty Hunt. Every time you close a rift, you receive a perk, and the map grays out. The first player to close 4 rifts becomes the Wellspring. The Wellspring has to stay alive in this circle until the bounty timer hits 0. If you leave the circle, you take damage over time. For each second that goes by, you earn XP and money. If the Wellspring kills a player, the countdown drops by a couple points. Should you survive, you keep the hunter and the guns, tools and consumables that you collected. You can find them in the Sole Survivors Recruitment tab. You can have up to 4 of them. Should you win a 5th time, your last hunter will be lost and replaced, so recruit them before that happens. Everybody else who is not the Wellspring, when the timer hits 0, will burn to ashes. Should you die during the match or get barbecued at the end, you keep the money you made from closing the rifts, and if you became the Wellspring, the money from the time you were the Wellspring, and some XP for your account progression, the Bloodline. The higher your Bloodline, the more advanced arsenal will be unlocked for you. Those are currently the 2 game modes that exist. Maybe in future patches, different game modes will be added. We will see. Then you're probably asking, okay, how does this progression system actually work? There are multiple progress lines in Hunt Showdown. You have your Bloodline, which is bound to your account, which unlocks base variants of weapons, traits, tools and consumables. Then you have your Hunter experience. Hunter experience is used to buy them new perks after the match, and should the match be a bit rougher, to rebuy lost health bars. Another way to progress in the game are unlock chains. Some weapons can only be unlocked by unlocking the base variant by reaching a certain Bloodline level and then by playing through the unlock chain to unlock the better guns. An example: by reaching level 21 in your Bloodline, you unlock the conversion pistol. By playing Say Pistol, you will unlock a chain pistol and at the end the uppercut, one of the best sidearms in the game. There is one more way to progress in the game, and that is the prestige system. To not make this video any longer than it already is, I linked a video in the description explaining the whole prestige system. So, is Hunt Showdown just another Battle Royale game? Let's find out. Lovely question. But to answer the question, we have to first have a look at what classifies a game as a BR title. The key element of Battle Royale games is that only one player or one team wins. Everybody else dies. Also, you need to scavenge for gear. And that is a huge element of the game. Which is sometimes an issue, because the gear that you can find is very random. I remember my PUBG days. You drop to a building, you go inside, and there's only crappy loot. Your enemy goes into the house right next to you, and he loots high tier gear, finds you and blasts you back into the lobby. Also, most BR games have a typical way to spawn. You drop in, so there are no fixed spawn points, like with a parachute or, what other kind of fancy mechanics they have nowadays. A few typical BR titles would be Apex, PUBG, Fortnite, Spellbreak. Honestly, the list nowadays is very long. Now to the question, is Hunt Showdown just another BR game? All of the stuff that I just mentioned is not the case in Hunt Showdown, so let's have a look at that. Your gear you selected at the beginning of the match. So it's not random. You can upgrade, of course, if you find better weapons or if you kill people and they have better gear, you can swap that. Now, winning in Hunt Showdown is... What is winning in Hunt Showdown? I always tell my audience that as long as you're not dying, you're winning. As long as you keep your hunter alive during the match, you're winning. Everything else is just bonus points. You can extract whenever you feel you can't win anymore. You burn through a lot of supplies and ammo in engagements. You lost maybe some health bars and you become a one-tap to most of the guns. Up to you, man. Go to the boss, fight for glory, or extract and live to hunt another day. This is probably the key feature for Hunt Showdown. It's up to you how far you want to go in a match. You can quit whenever. Not the case in BR games. You win or you lose. In Hunt you have also fixed spawn locations. You can select them, but with some experience you know where they are. Also, there are plenty of maps on the internet where you can see all the spawn locations. That gives you 2 options. The first option is you play it safe and you dodge these spawn locations. Or Once you remember the spawn locations, you check them at the beginning of the match to get maybe some early PvP, if you feel like it. Now, of course, Hunt Showdown does have some similarities with BR games, I'm gonna be honest with you. The BR games that I just mentioned, they use some kind of circle mechanic, you know, every couple of minutes the circle gets smaller, or the gas zone, or whatever it is. And that basically pushes people together and triggers some PvP. In Hunt Showdown, you have a similar mechanic. You're not forced to go there, but the main objective is the boss. And if you want more loot, or more money at the end of the match, you go to the boss because you want the token. And that basically funnels people together in Hunt Showdown and triggers PvP over there. So my conclusion, it's definitely not a BR game. It does have BR elements. At the end of the day, it's more of a sandbox game. Now, what makes Hunt Showdown, in my opinion, so good? Before I start, let me just quickly tell you, this is all just my personal opinion, and there's definitely more reasons why Hunt Showdown is so good, and I just picked a couple. Alright, let's get this going. First of all, it's the audio. Hunt Showdown absolutely spoiled other games for me regarding the audio. I'm exaggerating now a bit, but with map knowledge and the audio from Hunt Showdown, you can actually see by sound. You can pinpoint people by the sound that they make. Be it reloading, walking, running, dropping down, man, charging a melee attack, even aiming, you can hear it. I think there's only one thing that doesn't make a sound, and that's opening the map. Next, the game doesn't have fully automatic weapons. Well, there is one, but almost nobody plays it because it's more an expensive meme than actually worth the money. That means your shots count. Compared to other games, Hunt Showdown has slower firing weapons, but when they hit, they deal a lot of damage. Now, of course, there will be now a few people and they say, but Mike, there is dual wielding, there is levering, there is fanning, and so on. And yes, for Hunt Showdown, those are high fire rate weapons, but if you compare it, for example, with an MP7 from Escape from Tarkov, that thing shoots 150 rounds per minute. I think that is faster, so my argument still stands. On top of that, it's the thrill of the PvP. A lot is at stake when you enter a fight with an expensive loadout. Should you die, everything is gone. Your hunter is gone, the progression from the hunter is gone, the equipment is gone. So this is very similar to, for example, DayZ or Escape from Tarkov. So if you die, there are quite the severe consequences. Furthermore, it's a sandbox game. I said it already at the beginning, that means you can do whatever the hell you want. Want to roam the bayou and just snipe some monsters? Alright, do that. You want to hunt other players and ignore the boss? Sure, man, go for it. You wanna rush to locations where they made sound? Man, why not? Want to charge people with a saber while screaming at the top of your lungs through VoIP? Yeah, man, you can do this. Want to be annoying past at max range with a sniper? Please don't, but you can be that. It's possible. Whatever your preferred playstyle is, there's a high chance you can actually do exactly that in Hunt Showdown. Then, and this is sometimes a controversial topic, but I think it's still a positive point, there is skill-based matchmaking. No matter which game, matchmaking is always a discussion that never ends and is very often a super toxic discussion. However, in my opinion, skill-based matchmaking works most of the time in Hunt, if you actually enable it. It keeps the very good players from the new players, and that is the most important thing. So if you want to have more info regarding skill-based matchmaking or how the star system works, links in the description. I have 2 videos regarding that. And then another pro in this game is the gun balance. Sure, there is a meta. Currently it's long ammo snipers since like forever. But let's be fair here. I think if you know what you're doing, you have a chance with any gun in the game. And I think this is awesome. Most of the people complaining about something being OP, and I will definitely make a few people upset right now, are a bit biased and out of touch with what OP actually means in other games. Then I have 2 more arguments. One is cheaters. There are almost none. And now I will get probably even more hate. But hey, let me explain this. In other games, for example PUBG, cheaters made me actually quit the game. Why? Because they could make real-life money with a real-life market where they sold in-game items. This is not possible in Hunt Showdown. So all these people or these organizations basically, that send all their cheaters into a game to farm money is not the case in Hunt Showdown. It's not possible. I'm not saying there are no cheaters. They do exist like in any other game too. I think most of the time though, when I watch some clips from people, oh, this guy's cheating, I would say 80% of the time there's an explanation what actually happened, and it's, no offense, mostly a lack of experience. But again, they do exist, but compared to other games, they are kind of rare. Then, final point, and I absolutely love this one because, well, this hits pretty close to home. Smart players can win if they have bad aim. You can win in Hunt Showdown by getting a good feeling about what goes on in the game. Anticipating what other people will be doing, working with the audio traps that other people set off. It's so satisfying to read enemies and ambush them perfectly. It's not all about insane reflexes and god-tier aim. Of course, sure, dude, it helps like in any other FPS game. But having a good game sense is almost equally important. And now, let's have a look at the numbers. And the last chapter, how are the numbers for Hunt Showdown? Now I would say we have a look at some facts because, well, what I like about the game is just personal opinion. Is the game doing good? So, we're gonna start with February 2018. That's the release of the game. And as you can see, 1,393.6 average players, which is not that great, to be honest. But it was early access, it just came out. There was absolutely no marketing whatsoever for this game. And as you can see, there were some pretty dark times, especially around May and, you know, April, like 1,000 average players. That is not a lot. But at the end of the year, it was like 1,800, 1,900. So it was doing okay-ish. Let's have a look at 2019. And as you can see, there is not really a lot of growth. Actually, it's even going down quite a bit. September 2019, I think this is a very important date because that is the official release for the game. And you see a nice spike and it dropped immediately. Quite a bit even. That's because the servers were, you know, they were on fire. Literally, I think. So they tried to recover in 2020 and they actually did a quite a good job. I mean, they almost doubled the numbers here in 2020. And if we will have a look now at 2021, the numbers were just going straight up. Like, insane. Just look at the peak numbers there too. Sure, yes, last 30 days that you see here on the top right, that is when the last event stopped. So right now the player numbers might be a little bit lower, but that was a new peak for players there in August with the events, and then also in September we were still doing good. So we had from, let's have a look at May 2018, average 1,000 with peak of 2.8k players, and we transitioned that to average players in 10,000s and upwards and peak players 30k plus. So the game is doing good. Of course, there's always ups and downs with every patch that drops, with every event that comes, and there are actually quite a few events. The next event that will come is most likely a Christmas event. We also have a Twitch Drops event. I hope I can release the video before the Twitch Drops event, we will see. And it's doing good. It's not doing amazing, but if you're worried about not having enough people to play, these are the PC Steam numbers, keep that in mind. I have absolutely no issue to find matches or to run out of enemies. So the game is doing good. With, I mean, as you can see, it's looking kind of good. It will probably grow even more, which is kind of exciting for a game that is already around for a couple years. So you saw now some numbers. It's up to you now if you want to join the community or not. Let's roll the outro. And that is a short-ish summary regarding Hunt Showdown. In all honesty, we only scratched the surface of the game. I might do a review one day of the game where I go into more details and discuss all the pros and cons of the game. But today I wanted to release a video that you can share to your heart's content with your friends or people who are not quite sure what to think about Hunt Showdown. If you have any more questions, I have quite a few guides on my channel, or you come over to twitch.tv/psychoghost and ask myself directly. People who support me now for a very long time can be seen here, my patrons. Thank you so much for supporting me. Thank you for watching. Let's hunt together in the bayou. Can't wait to see you there. Hopefully on the right side of the barrel. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, have a good day and bye bye.